Welcome to my channel, Enlightenment in the Darkness. Tonight's story is called Legend of the White Wolf, a Native American story about the legend of the White Wolf. Lock your windows and bolt the doors, so here we go. The story I'm about to tell you goes back to the dawn of time. In those days, the earth was covered with vast, endless forests. Some were inextricable, and lost travelers rarely found their way back. In those days, wolves lived in large numbers, forming very hierarchical clans. Intelligent, strong, and brave, they had no enemies other than men. The men, on the other hand, harbored a deep hatred of wolves, and when they came face to face, it was rare that both survived the encounter. No sooner had the men's child walked than he had learned to hate the wolf. Every decade that passed, the wolves, only the clan chiefs, and a few elected officials were embarking on the great journey. From all parts of the northern hemisphere, they converged in one place, a vast clearing in the middle of a deep black forest, somewhere in a country that would later be called France. Some of them came from very far away. It was the Great Gathering, in which the still lone male and female wolves would seal a new alliance. They came here to find the companion of a lifetime. The chiefs shared their knowledge, and the young people built their descendants. That year, White Wolf, still a lonely clan chief, came to find a companion. On the way, he thought of the heavy secret that was his. A few months earlier, during a hunt, he had discovered a young woman passed out in the fresh snow. He had approached her gently, suspiciously, as he had always been taught. Long minutes had passed like that, when suddenly the young woman moved. She opened her eyes, and far from being terrified by the sight of the wolf, she smiled at him. She reached out her hand and stroked the animal's fur. He greeted this token of affection, first with surprise, and then soon with pleasure. Without knowing that he could understand it, she explained her fear to him. When she saw herself wandering in the forest and heard a noise, she started running and didn't see a big branch in the way. She had stumbled heavily and fainted. While talking to him, she hadn't stopped stroking him. She looked him straight in the eyes and asked him to take her to the village. She says alone, "I'll never find my way back." He did so. He took her back to the entrance of the village and stayed there for a long time, watching her leave, even when he couldn't see her anymore. Back in the clan's lair, he understood that he would never be the same again. He would never see men the same way again. He even went back to watch the entrance to the village in the hopes of seeing the woman again. Many miles away, a she-wolf and her brother were walking alongside a clan chief. They too were on their way to the Great Gathering. The Calypsone wolf was coming to make an alliance there. She had been hoping for it for a long time, but since last summer, she was inhabited by fear. Her path had crossed that of a wounded gentleman. Instead of turning him into the pack, as she should have done, she hid him, covered with leaves and branches, and fed him until he could fend for himself. The man had never shown the slightest fear of the she-wolf. On the contrary, he liked to talk to her, to caress her. He confided in her, as he would have in one of his own. He dreamed of a world where men and wolves would make peace, a world where hatred of the other would no longer exist. One night when Calypso came to find him, he had left her scarf on the floor, a little of his scent that she took pleasure in sniffing. Often, since then, she would come and lie down at the foot of the tree that had witnessed their friendship. The sacred clearing was ready. All the participants had gathered in several circles. In the middle were the lonely ones. It was customary to observe each other, and when a male wolf found a she-wolf to his liking, he would step into the middle of the circle, then crawl from there to the chosen one. That sacred night, when Calypso saw a white wolf, she immediately recognized the companion who lived in her dreams, the one she had always waited for. So, pushing aside all the rules, she walked towards him without fear, looking at him in the depths of his golden plums. White Wolf, as if he had always known what was going to happen, accepted Calypso as his companion without formalizing in a cavalier manner that she had used to achieve her ends. The very night their union was sealed, the great sage gave his consent after verifying that they did not belong to the same clan and that their two statues were in harmony with each other. The she-wolf bid farewell to the clan that had seen her grow up and prepared for the return journey. Their journey was uneventful. Unconsciously or not, White Wolf built their lodge not far from where he discovered the young woman last winter. In the spring of the following year, Calypso gave birth to 2 cubs, a male and a female. Before she set the pack, she had confessed to the White Wolf the perjury she had committed against her breed. By hiding and feeding a human, White Wolf had in turn confided his deep secret to his mate, and since then, they had become one. One night, they were awakened by cries that brought them out of their lair. They saw thick smoke in the distance, a fire blazing in the sky. The cries lasted a long time, and at dawn, a pungent smell reached them. The magic of the wolves in those days was great, and their hatred of humans even greater. Several clans had joined together to destroy a village that had killed several of their own. Those who didn't perish in the fire were eaten by wolves. White Wolf gathered his mate and her cubs and decided to leave these barbaric lands forever. He wanted a different world for his descendants. At the same time, a man and a woman, only survivors of the massacre, were also fleeing the horror of the night. Legend has it that the path of the wolves crossed that of the humans, that he recognized the young woman he had rescued as well, that Calypso recognized the man as the one she hid in the woods. It is also said that they made their way together to a large clearing. Only with their courage, they built a new world, where all those who lived without hatred were welcome, humans and wolves alike. White Wolf created a new breed of wolves closer to man, and which many years later would give birth to the civilized wolf breed that would be called the dog. Thank you for joining me here today on my channel Enlightenment in the Darkness. Please like and subscribe so I can continue to bring you more interesting content. Many blessings to the rest of your day.